Okay, good evening everyone. Thanks for coming this evening to Victory Business Leaders. Very blessed and privileged tonight to have Basil Anfuso who's going to share with us. There's lots and lots of things I could say about Basil, but Basil's exceedingly blessed. He's a great man of God. He's an author, he's a real estate specialist, and he's going to share with us tonight. Looking forward to hearing what he's going to say. So, Basil, hand over to you. Time's on.
Hey guys, thanks for giving me this privilege. I don't take it lightly. If I told you how many hours I spent in prayer today, you wouldn't believe me. So I'm not going to say it. Look, before I start, I've never classed myself as the average Christian. I want everyone to stand up. Just want to shake around a little bit. Let's get the cobwebs off. Let's touch your toes, whatever you want to do. And let's just believe it. Let's cast our cares on Jesus that we don't want. We're not going to let anything hinder us tonight from hearing from the Holy Ghost.
Amen.
Because I want to hear from the Holy Ghost.
Amen.
Okay, so there you go. Everybody okay? Everybody ready to hear? They've got their antennas out. We're ready to go? Ready to go? All right. You can sit down now. That's great.
So the next one was sleep.
It's a great meeting as well. I feel like I'm married again and I'm the wife. Or maybe that's not such a good joke. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Look, I've got a really long list of things to say, but I want to concise it. But I just want to get ourselves on the right platform here. And there's a verse of scripture that I use over and over and over again. And it is John 8:44, that the devil is a liar. There is no truth in him. When he speaks, he cannot speak the truth. So those that have been listening to the lies of the devil, because, hey, I know what it's like. Back in the 80s, on a really, really dark night in Mandurah, an audible voice came out and said, I'm going to kill you. Now, do you think I wasn't scared? Of course I was. But you know what came out of my mouth? Psalm 91. No. I've been promised a long life. Now mind you, he's still tried over many years, but hasn't succeeded and he will not succeed. When it's my time, it's my time. Now the other thing is that a verse of scripture, another verse that's really kept me going is Psalm 118, verse 17. I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. It is such an awesome scripture. It's kept me alive when I thought I was going to die. There were times I really thought, man, there's some really heavy stuff happening here. And that scripture's kept me alive. Okay, a little bit about myself. Born in Sicily, the Willie country. Dad came over here after the war. He thought this is a great place to come to so his children can have a better life, and I thank him for that. Sent us to a Catholic school, and I thank him for that as well. My education levels weren't fantastic because I was never that really good at school. But one thing I was good at, it was Christian doctrine. And that's what they called it then. I think that probably called it scripture now. And I remember in grade 6, I always wanted to get an award or a trophy for something. And I didn't want a Christian doctrine. I wanted to be fairest and best in football or something like that. But I didn't. I got the Christian Doctrine Award. I was really surprised. And they gave me a New Testament. Well, the New Testament got, I don't know where it even is today. I don't even think I ever opened it. And I shared this with the kids that how I really wanted an award of some significance. So my youngest son, Paxton, whose girlfriend Amy's here, she's doing some video in here tonight, he decided one Christmas that he would buy me trophy, the world's greatest dad. Man, you know, you talk about tugging at your heartstrings. That is just absolutely just the best trophy I could have ever had, being a father of 4 kids. Okay, let's move along a little bit. I remember arguing with the Jehovah's Witnesses. One guy, I remember him as if it was just 5 minutes ago. He would come on his bike, and we were living in Cape Street, Short Hill, and he would stop there, and I'd be out the front, and we'd discuss the things of God, and I would argue with him. And I thought, wow, why am I doing this? Anyway, moving right along again. I wasn't always a Christian, but I don't want to give glory to the devil in any way or form. But I had something in me that God had put in me. When I went to one nightclub in the city, it happened to me twice, it might have been 3 times. I used to go up there and it was such a bad feeling that would come over me. I knew something was wrong. I used to walk down the steps, go to my car and go home. See you later. Moving right along again, a few more years. Doing carpentry, my father was a builder. And I get caught up with a few Christians. I'm married then. No children yet then at that stage. And I thought, man, these guys got something I haven't got. What is it? Anyway, so I heard the fullness of the gospel for the first time at the South Perth Church of Christ in Hensman Street, South Perth, by a pastor named Des Nelson. Des Nelson's gone on to be with the Lord now. But he was such a beautiful man. And he said, Jesus died for the sins of the world, and his blood was shed. And I said, I knew Jesus died, but is this really relevant to me? So, on the building site in Wattle Street, Short Hill, in November 1978, I decided to have it out with God. It's like bringing your 6 guns and I'll meet you at high noon. Had the nail bag on, because I'm a carpenter then. I took my nail bag off and I says, okay, Lord, if Jesus is the only way, the truth and the life, I want it. But I need a sign. We all want a sign for some reason. I don't know, it just seems to be what happens. And I said to the Lord, I said, it was a beautiful summer's day. I had the filthiest mouth you would not want to hear. And I said to the Lord, either a dove has to come and perch itself on the window frame and say, yes, Jesus is the only way, the truth and the life, or a gust of wind comes through this unit. Well, little did I know that God showed up in an instant, quicker than that. That wasn't, forget that one. All of a sudden, I had something go through me from my head all the way to the top of my feet, right through. I started to glow. All of a sudden, I saw a quick microsecond video of my whole life that God wasn't pleased in. The guy that I was partners with, Dominic Piccolo at that time, he came up to me and he said, what has happened to you? And I told him. Then we were working in an 8-unit complex. We were doing the fix out on 4, and the builders who were the biggest drug dealers in WA, little did I know that, were doing the plastering on the other 4. Everyone came and checked me out. What's happened to Basil? Because I knew who it was. All of a sudden, I couldn't swear even if I wanted to. I stopped biting my nails. Week after week after week, I would come across guys on the building site, sit down with them, to the point where I had it out with an elder of the Jehovah's Witnesses. He found out I'd given my life to the Lord. I was only a Christian, a couple of weeks. He said, I want to talk to you. Oh no, not another meeting at high noon. I didn't even have a Bible. So I got a Bible off my pastor, Des Nelson. I said, man, I need a Bible. I'm having this meeting with this JW Elder. So, okay. Lunchtime comes along, I get my Bible out, I didn't even really know what it says. And he ran rings around me. Of course he did. I didn't know what was going on here. And then what I said to him in the end, I said, "Gee, you know more scripture than me. But I've got a testimony you can't take away from me." Revelation 20:10 says they overcame him by the love of the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. When I told him my testimony, he packed up. Because you cannot deny the instant power of the living God when it comes into your life. Okay, wherever I went, people saw I was different anyway. Moving right along, they called me Father Basil because they were all Christians. Catholics, I should say, Catholic Christians or Catholics, whatever the case may be. God knows their heart. And still to this day, I am known as Father Basil, which I count as an absolute privilege. Okay, let's move along a little bit. Married, kids, still doing carpentry, decided to go into business. Had a beautiful wife, always loved her, gave me 4 beautiful children. Anyway, that's another story in itself that no longer exists, but I suppose I can share this. Just because your marriage falls over doesn't mean your marriage was a failure. God revealed this to me in a park when I was playing cricket with my boys and a couple of their friends a couple of months ago, because a lot of good things came out of that marriage. So even if you have a business that fails, a lot of good things have come out of it, or you have a relationship that fails, you can't. Everything is not a total failure. There are some things that come out of that. And I've never heard anyone say that. And that's the Spirit of God talking. It's not me talking. Because I would have never thought of that. Anyway, we decided to buy a business. I'm doing carpentry. We decided to buy a hairdressing shop. Who knew anything about hairdressing shops? Definitely not me. I was a worker. But my beautiful bride, she could do anything. She just had this talent of picking things up so quickly. So we got into hairdressing in the 80s. We borrowed the money from her father. And then we bought a very rundown shop. And we started doing hairdressing. Wow, hairdressing. Then, wow. And people used to say to me, "Are you a hairdresser?" I said, "Nah." "What about your wife?" "No, we just bought it." Okay. That was a time where we just started going to inner city faith, which later became Rhema. Grab it, name it, claim it, all the things that came out of that area. We thought, this is easy. All we do is just buy a business and say, "Okay, God, fill it up." And He's going to fill it up. Wow. That is so easy. Anybody can do this. Is that the way it happened? I'll tell you. But the first shop we got went along quite well. We ended up taking that, I think it was from $250 a week to $1,000 a week, and in a very short period of time. So we thought, oh man, this is fantastic. I was looking for people on Sundays after church to give my money to. I don't know whether that was a wise thing or not a wise thing. I would say, "Lord, who do you want me to give some money to?" Because we'd take our wage and I'd find someone. I don't know, I was led by the Spirit. I don't know. It was just a time of blessing. I just used to give money to people. Okay, well, we got one shop, we're doing okay. I'm still doing carpentry. Woo! We're on fire. Time to get another shop. Is it a good idea to get another shop? Not always. What happens? Well, I said, "Hey Lord, need to get another shop. Let's buy another rundown shop. Where can we find one?" So we looked around a few places, and I went into Leaderville. Wow! I saw this shop in Newcastle Street, Leaderville, really rundown hairdressing shop. And I approached the lady, I said, "You're looking at selling?" She said, "Yeah, I am." I said, "Okay." So we worked out a deal. I thought, man, this is God. Everything's just falling into place. Going to a shop. Lady says, yes, she's selling. Here we come. Here's another success story. Bought it. Didn't even really understand much about leases. Signed this lease that was not good. It was not to our advantage. Did it all up, as we do, because that's my field. And we opened the doors. Another shop called Celeste. And I used to go there. And I used to speak over those books. And I used to call them full. I used to speak over the chairs. I used to call them full. I used to walk around that building. I used to call them full. What happened? Oh, not much. I thought, maybe this wasn't God. But all the circumstances just all lined up. Just be very careful, guys, about circumstances, because they line up for Christians and non-Christians. And you think that it's God. So we were running about 12 staff at that time, and I said to my wife, I says, we need to move the shop. We didn't even do a simple thing like do a feasibility. That was a time when the freeway went through Unleadable and it was dead. It wasn't the thriving mecca it is now. So anyway, we put it on the market, we sold it. You know, it was a tough thing, but we got through. So I'll come back to that story, because that story's not finished yet. A couple of years ago, another leadable story. I laugh when the Lord gave me these things. Another leadable story is, I've been on my own now for 14 years, and I thought the Lord was telling me to go into the leadable car park at a special place, and I'm going to meet my wife. At first I just said, nah, it's only me. It's my emotions. Then, a week later I had that same thought again. And I says, oh, okay, let's go down. Let's just go down. So I felt it was time, I think it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't live far from Leadable. I only live down the road in Coolbigga, which is part of Mount Worley, just in case someone doesn't know. I jumped in my car, went down the shopping centre. I knew the spot. I hung around there. No one turned up. So I had a giggle. And I thought, oh, well, there you go, there's your emotions again. That's how I started learning about emotions. How you can get mixed up with being led by your emotions and think they're the Spirit of the living God because you want something to happen. And that all started when I started learning about these things 14 years ago when my marriage split. And when it's the only lady you've ever loved in your life, it was pretty tough. And I thought, I'll get over this in 12 months. So I just used to lay in bed at night. And I think, no, God would just send an angel. He said, yeah, Baz, all good. Yeah, I'm sorting it all out. All be done. My emotions again. I thought, wow, did that happen? No. I'll tell you what did happen, right? 8+ years later, I learned about the power of emotion and the emotional connection with people, how dangerous it is, especially men and females and men. I won't go into that story because it's really not relevant, because you're under duress. So my point here, guys, is be careful what you do. even when things look good and they line up, it doesn't necessarily mean it's God. There's been more than one person who's gone and bought a business and looked at the figures and thought, wow, this is a great business. I can make this work. And it wasn't God's idea. And they've lost on that business. How many people get caught up with good ideas? Ooh, guilty. Listening to other people. No, this can't fail. Let's borrow some money and get into this. This cannot fail. What happens? It fails. Consequences. Okay, let's go back to the marriage thing in legal. What were the consequences of that? Not much. Bit of a giggle. I never thought I'd be speaking to these people, telling you this story. It's the sort of story you sort of keep to yourself. Maybe a couple of bucks of petrol, a drive. No consequences really. Did it affect me? No. Of course it didn't affect me. Did the little shop affect me? Absolutely. Of course it did. So, did I learn from the little shop? That's a question. Well, yes and no. Did I do some other dumb things? Absolutely. Guilty. I go and look in the mirror and I say, I take full responsibility for that. Okay. I go and get my... We're moving along now, we're moving really fast. I decide to go into real estate. Once the children grew a little bit, it was time. I always knew I was going to get into real estate. So that was good. Got a couple of gold badge awards. I was good at it. Then I moved to another company where they gave me 100% commission. Then my marriage split. Whew, they were tough times. So, I was always told I was dumb. Even my dad was a tyrant. I love my dad to bits. But he always said I'd never achieve anything. He used to call me a donkey. Arsenal. My good Italian friend in the front there, he knows what an arsenal is. It's just another type of donkey. Yeah. Useless. And even going to school, up until year 6, year 7, it wasn't too bad. But then, once I got into high school, things got tough for me. I couldn't get concepts, and then I went a bit wayward. There was a girls' school next door, and we pioneered a few things. Enough of that. Let's move on. Oh, so, I decided during my darkest hours I was going to get my real estate license. So I went to school, I said to one of the guys, Joe Poppy, from where I was working, he said, Joe, you want to do your real estate license? He said, yeah, sure. So I went down their real estate license and got our license and started my own real estate company called Sell Realty with a C. People used to say to me, he's out of jail. Because I had a totally different concept of it. I had sell as all the cells in your body, and we could have a string of cell realties around the place. My boss at that time, Keith House, he says, Baz, he says, you're dreaming. He said, it'll never happen, no one want to play a business. He said, I had the biggest franchise in Perth, it was Roy Weston. He said, it doesn't work like that. And those who don't know, Roy Weston was a household sold word. was huge.
Long time ago.
Yeah, a while back. So, I went into business. Should have never gone into business, okay? Emotionally, I was not capable of running my own business. Number two, I was not a good administrator. I could talk to people, find people to sell their property, but that were my breakdowns. But I thought, no, I want to prove something to a lot of people that I'm not dumb, I can go and get my license, I can run a business without my wife. Well, we did run it, and it wasn't too bad, but the emotions were just everywhere. I mean, I was going through an ugly part of my life with a marriage split, from a 26-year marriage split, and a whole lot of other stuff, drugs, breakdowns, man, it all came. But you know what? I never wavered. I stayed with God. That was the secret. I stayed with God. I never went looking for loose women. I never went looking for drugs. I never went looking for alcohol. I just stayed with God. Were they tough years? Absolutely. Were they years that were wasted? No. What do you mean they were wasted? Well, I'm sharing some of the stuff here, and what I'm sharing with you guys today is just a pin of what was going on. But through that, the amount of guys that I was able to help, and still helping now, who are going through the same stuff. Did I enjoy going through there? James says, count it all joy when you fall in various temptations and all the other stuff. And I go, of course I didn't. I've never enjoyed going through a crisis. Because it's the unknown. With God, you know it's going to turn out okay, but your mind gets in the road. So, did I have opportunities to jump ship? Absolutely. Devil brings those opportunities your way. You want trouble, just walk out your front door in the mornings. You find trouble. So, here we are, 2016. I'm just, Sunday night service, just lifting my arms, just praising the Lord, because I love praising the Lord. And he goes, close down the property management. I didn't have the big property management. I wanted to close it down, I didn't know how to close it down. Was it God? Oh, 110%. Did I close it down? Absolutely. How did I feel after I closed it down? Oh, I'm speaking to this thing. Free. I can't even begin to tell you how much freedom came into my life when I closed that down. And I had it closed down by September. It was on 29th of September. I was going to Amsterdam to see my beautiful eldest son, his wife, and my beautiful granddaughter. Every time I went to Europe, before that, and the property manager just hang over your head, because every time I tried to get someone, I found the wrong person. And I found myself, that was one of my downfalls, with my administration inadequacies, that I couldn't do it, and it was taking me away from my sales, which I was good at. Fantastic. Let's roll into 2017. Praying in my backyard, praying in the Spirit. walking up and down, wearing shoes out. If I'm not wearing shoes out, I'm wearing the carpet out or whatever it is. And there I was, close the business down. Out of nowhere. I said, close the business down. Awesome. I'm happy to do that. Had the business closed. We closed it down. I think it was, Lord spoke to me around about June. And had it closed down by the end of October. Was that God? Oh man, was it God? Huh? You have no idea. It was such a beautiful thing. Did I have many problems closing down? Yeah, just a few. Did it work itself out? Perfectly. All my settlements fell into place. Everything closed down. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. How did I feel? Oh, better than what I felt when I closed down property management. All of a sudden, I had such a liberty about me that it was unreal. All the glory to God, nothing to do with me. Sometimes you do stuff that you shouldn't be doing. And sometimes you need to close the door on it. Close it down. Because it wasn't God's idea. I know it's a tough thing to say. But when you do it, oh, what a relief comes to you. Absolute relief. So I went and worked. I rang up a few guys, Paragon Property. I sold them property. The boys there are very good at what they do. I rang them up. Need a job. Just come and meet us. No problems about getting a job. Do you know I sold all properties? When I started with Paragon in November 2017, coming into where we are now, up to 2 months ago, I sold more properties in that period of time that I'd sold the year before. Was that God? Absolutely. Absolutely. Was I free? Absolutely. Now, we're coming to a close. What's this verse of scripture up here say? Romans 8:14, sons of God led by the Spirit of God. Wow, what does that mean? Well, it's not as scary as it looks. You know that's your answer to everything you do. But there's a price to pay. And most of us in this room will not pay that price. It's spending time with God. Spending time and hearing the Holy Ghost. Let me encourage you. If it takes 6 months, 6 minutes, 6 years, don't make a move before you hear from the Holy Ghost. Mm-hmm. Because we've all got great ideas. We all listen to great ideas. We're out in the marketplace. We listen to people's ideas all the time. Yeah, look, buy this, man, can't go wrong, you know. Yeah, I brought a few of those in my time. Some of them aren't even on the boards anymore. I think it always comes back to how much do you want something? And there are certain things you can do that will, the percentage-wise, will bring you success. But when I look at my life and looking at the real estate industry, what seemed like a good idea 3 years ago is not a good idea today because the market tanked down. I'll just use that as an example because I know a little bit about that. So what may seem like a good idea, a good business to get into today, all the figures line up, oh, this is great, looking good. Might not be a good idea in 6 months. Might not be a good idea in 2 years. Whatever the case may be. Now, if you want to take those chances, I don't have a problem with that. But I said to the Lord this year, goodness me, good thing He's got a sense of humour with me. I said, I don't want to lose any more money this year. Now, I know it sounds ridiculous, but we're going to take a little bit of a side trip. Am I okay for time here? No? Okay. Take a little bit of a side trip. Not only am I standing up here talking, but I have written 2 children's books for someone who wasn't that good at the school and was told that he wouldn't achieve much. God, you can do anything, guys, as long as it's His will. You've got to find out what He wants you to do. You know, you're not BHP or Rio Tinto. They're fine, they've got the franchise on it all, but they go up and down as well, but they're covered. So, getting back, consequences. How's the book going? Tough. Why? Because I listen to the wrong people and pay the wrong people to do SEOs, to do social media, that promised me so much. And one of them happened to be a Christian. Well, don't get me going on working for Christians, or it's just another story. Anyway, so what do? Well, you're contracted to a company who's promised you the world. Well, not quite the world, but I'll give you an example. When I decided to do SEO, social media, I had this email from this gentleman and I checked out the web pages. I checked who they were out and they're a very reputable company in Melbourne. And he just happened to be a Christian. Oh, praise the Lord, we found a Christian. Wow, we're safe. It's safe, we're right. Christians, man, they always tell the truth. They try and rip you off. None of that sort of stuff doesn't happen. You know, church is perfect. So he says to me, Baz, I've done all the figures. I can get you between 10 and 11,000 people coming on your webpage per month. And let's work on 1%. I said to him, James, that sounds fantastic. 1%. I'd be happy with less than 1%. 1% is extraordinary. He says, okay. So, I have problems with these guys setting my webpage up. I'm not very technical minded, but I'm changing that confession. I'm doing things now that I never thought I could do. Getting back to that being done. You can overcome that. You won't be the best. I mean, I wouldn't be going for an IT job because, goodness gracious, that just wouldn't happen. Unless God downloaded something into my head and my brain changed. And I've asked Him to do that as well. I said, Lord, you've got to help me with this technical stuff. So I think He's saying, you better help yourself a little bit. Anyway, so getting back to this company, MLK. I was hardly getting a hit on my webpage, nothing. I was calling them instead of them calling me. I was, look, you know, is everything okay? How many people are coming on? Is, am I all my banking correct? So if they like the book, they can buy it, you know, the list goes on, whatever, all that stuff you need to do. Baz, takes time with this stuff. I said, yeah, sure. Of course. I understand that. But the months kept going by. I had a 12-month contract. I met it. Thousands of dollars, $25 return. And I said to the Lord, I'm not doing anything with this book until I hear from you. So guys, let me encourage you. Stay with God, listen to God, and eliminate mistakes. Thanks very much, guys.